sports podcast show in the world.
Man, it's the Not for Losers Sports Podcast. Unfiltered, unscripted, real takes, high stakes, and I am your host, man. They call me the Fresher. You already know, man. We appreciate y'all. Every episode is sponsored by the luxurious streetwear brand Numi Vested / Coins Apparel. Look, smell, feel like money. www.numivested.com. All right, chat. I know y'all gonna let me have it, but before y'all let me have it, let me say this, man. Thank y'all for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. For those that's just joining us, you are in the right place if you want to hear what you're not going to hear at them other major networks or them other podcasts. All right. Go ahead. I'm going to give y'all the opportunity to let the Fresher have it. So for those that don't know what I'm talking about, last week we did our first You Know the Vibe Top 5 Picks of the Week segment, and the Fresher got cooked. I'm talking about the Fresher went 0-5, man. Yeah, listen, when I say this has been the worst first month of football for the Fresher and Not for Loser Sports Podcast with the picks, it don't even make no sense. Like, Vegas really been putting belt to ass. So this week I'm going to do better, man. This week I went 0-5. Next week I'm going 5-0, man. I'm going perfect. So one of the picks I had was Green Bay -7. Now, Roger Goodell in the NFL, as a true fan of the sport in the NFL, I'm going to say this for every true fan of the NFL. We do not want the best game of the week to end in a tie. We do not want to stay up for 3.5 hours waiting for a winner, and then there's no winner. Please fix it. All right. Now that I said that, what did I take from this game? Green Bay at Dallas. I think we anointed the Green Bay Packers a little bit too early. Like, okay, they did put belt to ass to the Detroit Lions the first game of the week, season. And we thought, oh my God, Green Bay is here. Jordan Love looked spectacular. But Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, after that devastating loss to the Cleveland Browns last week, y'all were supposed to march into Jerry World and put foot on neck. For y'all to go back and forth and have a slugfest with the Dallas Cowboys and that sanitation truck of a defense makes absolutely no sense. Now, granted, I still believe y'all are one of the top 4 best teams in the NFC, but even though y'all beat the Detroit Lions in week 1, I believe the Detroit Lions is still the cream of the crop in that division. And I don't think y'all defense is as good as presented. So, because there's no way, even though, listen, Dallas got a great offensive pieces over there. They have a high-powered offense, but with no CeeDee Lamb, it shouldn't have been no competition. Even though George Pickens showed up, I believe George Pickens had 8 receptions for $113 and 2 tubs. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on that. We're going to tap into the stats in a minute. But the Green Bay Packers, y'all was supposed to really show the world that y'all are light years ahead of the Dallas Cowboys. But instead, y'all ended a tie. Jordan Love put on a performance. Let's see what Jordan Love had, chat. Hold on. Let's see what Jordan Love had. Let me pull up these stats real quick, chat. Let's pull these up real quick, man. Let's see what Jordan Love and them had, bruh. Okay. Week four. Let's see. Week 4, Green Bay, Dallas. Boom. Okay, look at this, chat. Jordan Love was 31 of 43, 337 with 3 tubs, which is an excellent game. Josh Jacobs had 22 carries for 86 yards and 2 tubs. Romeo Doubs had 6 receptions, 50. The man only had 58 yards, but he had 3 tubs, man. Tucker Kraft, 5 for 56. What did Micah Parsons do, chat? Hold on. Defense, Micah Parsons. Let's find out what Micah Parsons did, because Jerry did have some slick shit to say about Micah Parsons after the game, and we're going to get into that. Micah Parsons had 1 sack and 1 tackle for all that money. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe Micah Parsons is overrated. But he has the talent to be great, not Lawrence Taylor great like everybody try to promote. He did make a big play in a big moment when Dak was about to march into the end zone that could have basically won a game, and he got the sack. So he showed up in a big moment. Let's see what the Dallas Cowboys had. Let's see Dak. Yo, I ain't gonna hold you. I've been real critical of Dak, but Dak been putting on, man. Dak was 31 of 40, 319 yards, and 3 touchdowns. No picks. Javonte Williams had 20 for 85 and a touchdown. George Pickens, this was your coming out party for Dallas. This is what the Dallas Cowboys need from you, even when CeeDee Lamb is healthy. They need you to be a number 1. Even though CeeDee Lamb is their number 1. You had 8 for $134. I said $113. You had 8 for $134. You averaged damn near 17 yards per catch and 2 touchdowns. A spectacular game. So the question is the Green Bay defense. So let's see. Let's compare the teams. Green Bay had 489 total yards to Dallas 436. Green Bay had 325 passing yards. Dallas had 319. Rushing yards. Green Bay had 164. Dallas had 117. They almost averaged the same yards per play. Green Bay 6.2. Dallas 6.5. Slightly better. Listen, the Green Bay Packers had 32 first downs to Dallas 26. And the game ended in a tie. Third down efficiency. Green Bay was 10 of 14. Dallas was, so hold on. Green Bay. Y'all tied with a team that had a third down efficiency of 4 of 11. And y'all was 10 of 14. It's just crazy. Each team had 1 sack. And Green Bay, y'all ran more plays than the Cowboys. Y'all ran 79 plays to the Cowboys 67. The Cowboys had more punts. The Cowboys had 4 punts. Y'all had 2. They had 2 more punts than y'all. They had more penalties than y'all. Dallas Cowboys had 11 penalties for 95 yards. Y'all had 7 for 53. Y'all had the 1 turnover. Maybe that could have been. And I don't know what y'all was thinking about. Y'all had the momentum. Why did y'all try to score on that last possession going into the half, which actually changed the momentum because Jordan Love got stripped, fumble, turnaround, Dak, George Pickens touchdown, and momentum switch. And then Dallas got the ball coming out at halftime. Y'all dominated the time of possession. 35 minutes and 33 seconds to Dallas, 34 minutes and 27 seconds. There's no way in hell that y'all should have lost that game. Point blank, period. Well, y'all didn't lose it. Should I say y'all didn't lose it? But it ended in a tie, bruh. So I think we need to pump our brakes on anointing Green Bay as like this Super Bowl favorite coming out the NFC. I still, like I said, my preseason pick was, y'all see it, the Detroit Lions. Even though the Detroit Lions lost to Green Bay in week 1, that is my preseason Super Bowl pick coming out the NFC. So, chat, if y'all did not hear what Jerry Jones said, listen, I ain't gonna hold you. Jerry is the funniest man in the world, man. I swear, Jerry, whatever going on with Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones, it's like a married couple that just recently filed for a divorce. Because I can't believe Jerry Jones had this to say about Micah Parsons after the game. Hold on, chat. Let me see. I'm gonna let y'all, if y'all didn't see it, I'm gonna let y'all listen to what Jerry Jones had to say, man. Here go Jerry on Micah Parsons.
Because you had outstanding quarterback play, you had some very talented people out there playing. You certainly had one of the most expensive players in the history of the NFL out there playing.
Hey, yo, chat. Yo, y'all hear Jerry? You definitely had one of the most expensive players in the NFL out there playing. Hold on, that's just not it. Yo, Jerry is hilarious. Hold on, let's finish to see what Jerry Jones got to say.
And so I guess everybody was going to take a look tonight and decide, is he worth all that?
Jerry, what do you make of the third?
Take a look. Dispensable, in my mind.
Right.
And so, yes. And Michael wasn't.
How bad did you feel?
So, I mean, it's just numbers. It's that easy. And that's not personal at all.
Yo, Jerry Jones, man, he just take all his shots at Micah Parsons, man. Jerry Jones is bitter. That's how just Jerry Jones is, man. He felt like that him and Micah Parsons had a verbal agreement, and Micah Parsons backed out of it. So he's going to continue to take his shots at Micah Parsons. And Micah Parsons didn't have a great performance. He had a big moment with the sack on Dak Prescott when Dak was about to march in the end zone, and that could have been a game-winning touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys. So Micah Parsons, even though his numbers don't say it, he had a big play in one of the biggest moments of the game. But y'all heard Jerry. Jerry said what he said. So moving right along. Did I touch bases on everything I want? Yeah. So what else game I had? I had Tennessee +7. I don't know what the hell I was thinking about. The Tennessee Titans defense made the Houston Texans look like the Detroit Lions. For the first 3 weeks, the Houston Texans was struggling to even score, struggling to get in the red zone. But I don't know. In the beginning, the Titans defense was putting up resistance. They was getting the fair-bearing field goals. That's it. They was holding the Texans to field goals. And then all of a sudden, the floodgates opened, man. And then Houston just went on a tear. Like, we all know that Houston Texans defense is stellar. I believe they had quit on the offense because the offense was struggling to score. But as you see, the Tennessee Titans put up a donut. Cam Ward, the most sacked quarterback in the league. Granted, he's a rookie. So it is what it is. But I don't know what the hell I was thinking about. I did know what the hell I was thinking about when I picked the Tennessee +7. But they showed no resistance at all. The offense couldn't do nothing against that defense, and the defense couldn't do nothing against the Houston Texans offense after the second half. Once the second half started, Tennessee just, like I said, the floodgates opened. So that was an extremely bad pick. And my man told me, yo, Fresh, why the hell you pick against your boys and you had the Houston Texans as your preseason Super Bowl pick? Because I told him, I said, the Houston Texans hasn't shown me anything within the first 3 weeks, and I believe it's a division game, and it's going to be a tough game. And I seen some stellar quarterback play from Cam Ward. So, my pick was justified, but Sunday, Vegas put belt to ass. The Colts, another one of my pick. I believe this was a strong pick. The Colts really beat themselves for anybody that watched the game. I forgot the one receiver name. Great catch, great throw by Daniel Jones. He spun out of the tackle, up the sideline. The man tries to showboat before crossing the goal line and fumbles the ball out of the end zone for a touchback. Remember, the game was decided by 7 points. So that was huge. The Rams won 27-20. You feel me? So with that being said, my Colts +3.5, that was a hell of a pick. But again, the Colts beat themselves. And I want to say this, for the Colts to be able to go toe-to-toe with the Los Angeles Rams was big. It shows that the Indianapolis Colts has arrived in this league. They was only a quarterback away. They had the defense. They had the offensive firepower. They just needed a quarterback. And I can't believe Daniel Jones is playing as good as he's playing. Even though I believe he had 2 picks this game, I believe all season Daniel Jones had no turnovers. So the 2 picks definitely was, and I believe they had fumbled the ball like 2 times. So the Indianapolis Colts really beat themselves. So I believe that was a good pick. And I want to say this, Davante Adams has resurged his career like I predicted with Matthew Stafford. That's the bottom line. Now, he left Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers, went on with Jimmy G to Las Vegas. We knew that wasn't going to work out, and I believe somebody named O'Connell took over once Jimmy G got hurt. Jimmy G is out of the league. I don't even know where Jimmy G is at. So then he gets traded to New York with Aaron Rodgers. Even though Aaron Rodgers is playing great football this season, last season Aaron Rodgers was trash, and Davante numbers went down. But I knew with an elite quarterback like Matthew Stafford, Davante Adams was going to perform, and I believe Davante Adams has a touchdown in every game this season. I believe he only had 1 catch or 2 catches for like 40-something. Let's check this out, chat, real quick. I don't want to just freestyle. Let me pull it up real quick. Let's tap into this real quick, chat. Make sure I ain't tripping. So, the Rams, let's see what Davante Adams had. Davante Adams had 4 for 56 and a touchdown. But I believe he scored a touchdown every game this year, which is great. Let's see. Let's see something real quick. Let's see if we can see what Davante Adams got this year. Yeah, he got a touchdown every game. Against the Titans, he had 6 for 106 with 1 touchdown. Against the Eagles, he had 3 for 56 with 1 touchdown. And against the Colts, he had 4 for 56 with 1 touchdown. Davante Adams has resurged his career over there with Matthew Stafford, like I predicted. So, Daniel Jones did have the 2 takeaways. Daniel Jones went 24-33, 262 yards and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor had 17 carries for 76 yards. He averaged a little bit under 5 yards per carry. I believe this is the kid. Or was it Tyler Warren? Somebody had caught the pass, man. I wish I could show y'all the play. And basically, that was the deciding factor of the game. Let's see. The Rams have 462 total yards to the Colts, 333. The Rams definitely dominated on that side of the ball. I mean, dominated in the total yards. Passing 360 to 248. Yeah, now the Rams look like they dominated. They both was 4-12 on third down efficiency. Total plays 70. Rams 56 for the Colts. The Colts actually, the score don't even reflect on how much the Colts was really dominating in this game. To be honest with you, the Colts shouldn't even been that close. So that goes to show how good of a team and how much resistance that defense puts up for the Colts. What else, chat? What else I want to say about that game? Oh, Tutu Atwell. Yo, listen. Puka Nacua had like 13 receptions for a buck. Hold on. I'm sorry. I got to pull it back up now. Or I ain't even going to pull it back up, chat. I'm going to tell y'all what Puka Nacua had. Puka Nacua had 13 for a $170, man, with a tub, man. He averaged 14 or 13.1 yards per catch. Tutu Atwell had One catch for 88 yards. He averaged 88 yards per catch with one touchdown. That's the game. That was a game-winning play right there. I think the coach is as good as advertised. But I don't know if Daniel Jones will be able to sustain this play. Like, he took a step back with the 2 turnovers. He looked at like Daniel Jones again, as usual. But I think the Colts has a bright future. Great game for Matthew Stafford, as always. Matthew Stafford is an elite quarterback in this league. Let me see what Matthew Stafford. Like I said, Matthew Stafford was 29 of 41, 375, and 3 touchdowns. Matthew Stafford was doing Matthew Stafford things. Bottom line. Kyron Williams, 13 for 77. Jonathan Taylor had 17 for 76, no touchdowns. It was a hard-fought game. So let me move on. Because this game, I want to talk about this game so bad. Twan, you heard what I said. The Baltimore Ravens marches in the Arrowhead and get their ass handed to them, dog. Like, yo, listen. I don't know what to tell y'all, Baltimore Ravens fans, but like I said before the game, it is time for John Harbaugh to go. I don't know. It's like his voice is not resonating in the locker room no more. I'd never seen a Baltimore Ravens team this bad with this amount of talent, should I say. Like, you got Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Granted, he's fumbled 3 times this season. Zay Flowers. Mark Andrews looked like he's had a resurgence after the bad playoff game against the Bills last year. Now, listen. Now, the Baltimore Ravens defense, now granted, Kyle Van Noy and Ndakwe, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Now, them are 2 huge pivotal pieces for that Ravens defense. That's missing. But they also took a lot more injuries during this game. But there's no way in hell y'all was supposed to let Kansas City Chiefs look like the Kansas City Chiefs of old. I don't believe the Kansas City Chiefs scored 30 points all season last year. So for the Kansas City Chiefs to put up 30 against that Baltimore Ravens defense says a lot. Now, I'm hearing a lot of sports shows. They blaming the defensive coordinator. I believe his name's Zach or Michael Orr, whatever his name is. I don't believe it's the scheme. And they have the personnel. They're just not executing. The bottom line. That's just the bottom line. And the offense is not looking too sharp either. Besides the game against the Detroit Lions, Lamar Jackson is having trouble holding on to the ball. We all know Derrick Henry is having trouble holding on to the ball. Like, listen, the Baltimore Ravens cannot. Now, I said they couldn't lose this game against Kansas City, but like I said, the Cincinnati Bengals is atrocious. The Cincinnati Bengals is atrocious. And Zach Taylor, if you don't go trade for Shador Sanders, I would take Anthony Richardson over Jake Browning. Go get Jameis Winston. I know y'all can't afford Kirk Cousins, but y'all need an answer before this season is a wash. And y'all don't make the playoffs like y'all did last year. And it's just time for Zach Taylor to go. But anyway, Cincinnati don't have a chance of winning this division. Cleveland Browns don't have a chance of winning this division. In Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Aaron Rodgers are actually playing good football. So the only way for the Baltimore Ravens is to climb back. And the good thing is they still play Pittsburgh twice. So that's the only reason why they're still alive. But if you lose to the Houston Texans next week, it's over. And we don't know if Lamar Jackson going to play. He has a hamstring injury, questionable. To be honest with you, I'm not going to say that Lamar Jackson is a quitter, but after I assessed the play, it didn't even look like he was hurt. It looked like he quit. He realized that they had no chance in France in that game. The defense couldn't stop a cold if they tried. So the Baltimore Ravens, y'all need answers. Y'all need answers quick. And like I said, I never seen a coach with a longer leash than John Harbaugh. And I'm just being honest. I believe it's time to move on from John Harbaugh. They might not do it now, but if the Ravens fail to make the playoffs, it's time to move on. And I'm not saying John Harbaugh is a terrible coach. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is his voice is not resonating through that locker room anymore. That's what it seemed like. So whatever Baltimore need to do to right the ship, they need to do it. But I believe that's the problem because they have the personnel. The personnel is there. Now, I didn't hear not one major network speak on John Harbaugh. But this is why you come to Not For Loser Sports Podcast. We're going to keep it all the way a stat every time. So, the Baltimore Ravens, that was an atrocious game. So, let me move on. Now, I had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 3.5, which was well warranted in Tampa. And if it wasn't for Baker Mayfield making that boneheaded play, now mind you, Chad, I told y'all I love Baker Mayfield. He's a baller, but I said he always manages to make that one boneheaded play. And he did it Sunday and cost his team the game. You do not throw that ball. And quite honestly, I believe this was the matchup of the week. I liked this matchup better than Chiefs and Ravens. But in the first half, it seemed like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers didn't even get off the bus. I mean, Philly was kicking their ass the whole first half. But I told my man Mir, me and my man Mir was on the phone at halftime, and I said, yo, the Buccaneers is going to make a comeback in the second half. Basically the same way the Eagles did against the Rams the week prior. And they did. And I believe that touchdown would have either tied the game or the Buccaneers would have moved ahead of the Eagles if Baker Mayfield did not throw that horrendous interception. Hey, yo, and I want to say this. Hold on, because I got to pull something up. Because, you know, and my cousin Kels, I'm talking to you too, Kels. Kels, I'm talking to you. Because I've been getting a lot of backlash behind my Jalen Hurts takes. Now, mind you, last week I apologized because I said the way to beat the Philadelphia Eagles is you put 8 men in a box, you stop Saquon, and you have to make Jalen Hurts beat you with his arm. And the Los Angeles Rams did that, and they still lost the game. Jalen Hurts had an excellent second half. And besides Roger Goodell getting in the way with that blocked field goal, Jalen Hurts proved that he can rally his team back on his arm. But he is not an elite quarterback in this league. He is not a top 5 quarterback in this league. And what did I tell y'all? I said it. I said that Super Bowl did not soothe A.J. Brown. It did not. Because if y'all are unaware, after the win, A.J. Brown took his frustrations to Twitter. Let's see what A.J. Brown had to say. Please. Please. For all y'all Jalen Hurts supporters, let's see what A.J. Brown had to say. If you're not welcome, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way. Chat. That's what A.J. Brown tweeted after the game. Now, could y'all tell me, did it have anything to do with Jalen Hurts going 0 for 8 in the second half? I believe that was the worst quarterback performance in NFL history, if I'm not mistaken. No completions in the second half. But this is the guy y'all say is elite. And again, his superstar receiver is unhappy. He read a book a few years ago. He brought the book out. If it wasn't last season, he brought the book out and said, yo, shit, I'm not even being used. I might as well read a book. Now he's voicing his frustration again. Now, I do want to say this, man. I don't even know how to put this, man. It is time for A.J. Brown to move on. And I want to be honest with you, Devontae Smith too. Because look, and this is courtesy of Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco. Shout out to Nightcap. Chad Ochocinco made a valid point. He said, when it's time for A.J. Brown to sit down for negotiations, he cannot bring wins to the table. He has to show his production. And with Jalen Hurts, his production is at an all-time low. So I don't want to hear about A.J. Brown being selfish. I believe he is a diva. But in this league, it's all about what can you contribute to the win when it's time to talk that money. And A.J. Brown has nothing to talk about. Courtesy of his quarterback. So, like I said, all y'all Jalen Hurts supporters, do his star receiver need to say anything more for y'all to understand? And I don't believe the Philadelphia Eagles can stay on top with this type of production from their quarterback. No, listen, Jalen Hurts is a great athlete. And he can throw the ball. But the Philadelphia Eagles and Nick Sirianni, at some point, you have to take the training wheels off. Jalen Hurts is out there with training wheels. Let's just be honest. So, chat, I'm not going to spend all day. That's what I wanted to talk about. The teams that I picked. Let me see. Who else did I pick that lost? I believe that's it. I touched bases on everything, man. The Chargers lost to the Giants. I told me and Mir on the phone, making our picks on the phone, and he said Chargers -6. I said, no, Frank. They starting Jackson Dart. For some reason, I believe this young quarterback is going to bring an energy to the locker room. But instead of me following my first mind, I listened to my man, and that was that was a loss. The only loss I had on that ticket. Thank you, Frank. What else I want to talk about? That's basically it. Oh, yeah, if y'all not aware, Tyreek Hill blew his knee out. I thought it was going to be Tyreek Hill on the trading block by the trade deadline, but it's going to be A.J. Brown. And I also want to shout out Michael Penix Jr., a hell of a bounce back game for him after that atrocious game against the Carolina Panthers. And I want to say this before I depart. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league. He might be the best quarterback I ever seen. Did y'all see the in and out he hit? Yo, the man, he took off on a scramble and hit the linebacker with the in and out, or was it a safety? He crossed him up on a football field. Yo, listen, let me say something. There's nothing on that football field Josh Allen can't do. Josh Allen is just a a spectacular football player. We're going to take quarterback out of it. He is just a hell of a football player. I ain't going to lie. I thought the Bills struggled for a moment, and I've literally looked at it as a trap game. I knew they wasn't going to cover the spread. I just knew 15.5 points was just terrible. And let me say something about the Bills' defense. Y'all let the Saints score 19 points. That says a lot about the Bills' defense. So y'all need to fix that. And New England Patriots, they kicked the doors off of Carolina. But that's all I'm gonna spend on this week, man. I'll be back. Let me see. I'll be back Friday to talk about the Thursday night game. As y'all can see, it's been some changes been made. Like I said, I promise to get better and better and better. I'm getting back on my grind. I'm here, man. So, man, everybody, man, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we do accept guests. It's easy. You want to come debate? You want to voice your opinion? Because the world want to hear what you got to say. If you a diehard fan, all I got to do is send you a link. You click the link, you pull right up to the show. It's just that simple, man. But you know, I got things to do, man. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for joining us.
We are